Okay, we will move on to the next session. Common hazards in manufacturing and industrial workplaces. Welcome further for the next session.
Okay, so we are resuming the session after a small break. I think the people might have taken some dinner or some snacks.
Otherwise, you also will get tired. Okay, we can come back. The second session is regarding the hazards that we come across in the manufacturing and industrial workplace. Yes, go to the next slide. So, some important 5 points I am dealing because one is characteristics of manufacturing and industrial workplace, top common hazards in manufacturing and industrial settings, mitigation or control strategies, best practices for workplace safety training, and emerging trends. Okay, you can go to the first. The manufacturing and industrial workplaces. Actually, manufacturing and industry usually form the backbone of any economy of any country. Why India is not coming up like China or Kerala taken in inspection? Our economic background is not very strong. Our education, primary education, we are good. Higher education is not that good. And total finance, the economic scenario is not very fine. The number one reason for this weakness in the financial area is that we do not have much of manufacturing industry or other industry. Only what we have is the service industry, and also mostly it is in the IT industry. But manufacturing is the backbone of any financial development, any economic development. Then that is the reason why China is coming in. You can have a lot of examples regarding China. In 1994, they wanted to have the physical developments in the country. So one of the area they wanted to develop was roads and conveyance. And they were having plateaus, valleys, mountains, hills, so many things. And they wanted to construct roads and rail, for which they wanted to bore or tunnels. And for tunneling, heavy equipments they were looking for, but they could not. And 1994, till that time, they were importing the tunneling machine, basically from Germany. And one tunneling machine that time was costing around 700 RMB or yuan. One RMB or yuan is around 12 rupees Indian. And it was 700 million yuan or RMB it was costing for one tunneling machine. And they had to struggle with that. And finally, they re-engineered everything and they made their own. In 2008, they made their first tunneling or boring machine of the same size they were importing from Germany. And it costed only 25 million. Instead of 700, they could bring it down to 25 million. And by 2020, they made the same machine with much more features, a fancy item perhaps. And it was costing only 50 million RMB. You see, $700 million, RMB costing, they could bring it down to 25 and 50 respectively. And the German companies went bankrupt. And this is the way China is coming. For every big institutions, big commercial business buildings, or colleges and all, people just go for China. They get every furniture, every door, every heavy parts they want to implement in the buildings, their closets, and so on and so forth. They are bringing down from China to India. This is happening even in our college. And cost is considerably low compared to the Indian counterparts. Also, the durability and the aesthetic appearance also is good. So people go for that. Now, how this was possible with China? They were focusing on manufacturing. India also can replicate it, but so far we could not. Only recently we started thinking about it. A couple of days back, I read in the paper that we also are starting to manufacture our own boring or tunneling machine. Let it happen. See, between Thrissur and Palakkad, there is a tunnel which is extending only less than 1 kilometer. And it took 12 years to complete it. You see, what a delay that is happening. Now, again in Kerala, from Calicut district to Wayanad, they are thinking about another tunnel almost 9 kilometers long. If for 1 kilometer they took 12 years, how long it may take for this? Now, the methodology that we were adopting was rock and then making it, which is a very rudimentary method. Suppose we have the tunneling machines, things will happen in a very fast way. But this is one of the areas where we have. And naturally, this is going to be the backbone of our economy. Now, in Kerala also, we should have, or we should think about manufacturing industry. Of course, with a lot of apprehensions regarding the environment and so on and so forth. We do not have the mind for that. So we have to change it. Now we have to consider the environment definitely. That is one of the SDG. We have to protect it, and then again, within our limitations, we should be capable of making industry, which we haven't done so far. So this is one of the things. And so the role where this manufacturing industry and industrial workplaces, raw materials are transformed into finished goods through structured processes, skilled labor and advanced machines, which we have to bring into Kerala and also different parts of India. These environments are very complicated. Highly paced, they are often risk generating situations are there. So safety issues are very much. Efficiency, innovation, so many things are involved. Go to the next page. Hazards in manufacturing and industrial workplaces. So as I mentioned, the backbone of our economy is manufacturing industry and other industries. The manufacturing and industrial workplaces are dynamic environments. Safety risks are very much there. So we have to take care of this. So understanding and mitigating these hazards is essential for protecting workers, maintaining the productivity, ensuring regulatory compliance. So if you want to become stronger in our economy, we have to go for manufacturing industry. And naturally, if the manufacturing industry is to be nurtured properly, definitely we have to look into the safety aspects. So these are very much interconnected. So how to go about it? Yeah, please, next page. Number one, the characteristics of manufacturing and industrial workplaces. We can go for that. You see, the industry, especially the manufacturing industry, is production oriented. Even for computer, so the computer science or engineering people think that they need not go for manufacturing. It is a wrong concept. You see, basically, if the computer is not there, how you are going to operate? You have to have the computer, its framework, its motherboard, its integrated circuits, everything. It's a monitor. How you have to manufacture. There are some mechanical fabrications required. So this is mass production is very much essential. And assembly also. You see, the industrial revolution, that is industrial 1. Industrial 2 is the electrification. And industrial 3 is electronics, the advent of electronics. Now, industry 4 is artificial intelligence, IoT, and things of that sort. And the SDGs combined, industry 5 we have. The industrial revolution number 1, by the advent of the steam engine, we had mass production. Previous to that, every item was manufactured individually by human effort. Maybe animal effort also must have been incorporated. But it was mechanized, especially by the introduction of the steam engines. And we started thinking about making things in huge numbers, and that is mass production. Now, today also, we have the mass production. But it is not merely focused on the mechanical aspect of it. So many other things also are getting influenced. So in the production unit, basically the mass production is the focus. And then later, we are finding that parts are made in different situations. And finally, there is an assembly line. Say, take the case of a car. The engine is manufactured. It's, the cylinder is bored, valve is made, and many other things are there. Moving parts are there. They are finally assembled. And the entire engine is brought to the chassis of the car or the mobile engine equipment. And then when the other parts, its body is built, its brakes are incorporated, its clutch is incorporated. So many other things are there. And then wheels assembled. So there is an assembly line. And the processing also, goods are processed in the. And this is what is called the production-oriented line. So manufacture of parts, then assembly, and the processing of the goods. So this is what is incorporated, included in the product-oriented industry. Now this is second thing, this is process-driven. This is operated through standardized workflow, often involving automation and robotics. Initially, it was that automation, robotics, etc. were not there. It is absent. But in the latest things are getting automated, and robotics also is incorporated. You go to any automobile industry. I have visited many. Say Aisha in close to Indo. I was visiting some 3 days together. I have seen the assembly line, the manufacture line, and many of the things are automated, making use of the robots. It was really great, fabulous it was. Things are done. So this is a process driven, and the workflows are there. What should be the first process? After that, which is to be done, and next what? And finally, after a line of processes are completed, we get the final product. That this is the process driven. Now, another aspect of this manufacturing industry is that it is labor intensive. Now, labor intensity is getting reduced because of the automation. But still, you cannot eliminate human intervention. You have to employ skilled people. Formerly, if a material is a steel or something is given, you have to shape a particular component by making use of the heavy machines like a lathe or shaper or boring machine, so many machines. Now, what has happened is that all of them are computerized. They have become CNC machines. Now there is CNC milling machine, vertical milling center, horizontal milling machines, lathes are computerized and automated. So by making use of the keyboard of your machine, you can operate. So still there is labor required. People are to intervene. Many of the things are to be ordered by humans only. Whatever level AI may be developing, finally you cannot eliminate humans. So generally speaking, it is labor intensive. And there are a lot of skilled people required, semi-skilled required across the mechanical, electrical, and chemical domains. Whatever may be the way AI is incorporated, you cannot eliminate. So the labor intensity is one of the issues we have to come across. Now it is hazard prone. It involves risk. It can be machine accidents, chemical exposure. It can be ergonomic strain. Somebody standing for long hours. Somebody straining their backbone. Maybe their hands are getting tired. So many issues are there. Human physique is not fit for heavy works, but we are training the people to do that. They are getting fatigue. So this fatigue also is instrumental in bringing a lot of accidents into the industry. Now, this is to be regulated by a lot of rules and governing statutes. So it is governed by safety, environmental, and labor laws. I already mentioned about NEBOSH, so on and so forth. So the Factories Act, ISO, etc. So these are the features that we are coming across in the manufacturing industry. Next page. So common workplace types is. So one is assembly plants. This is automotive, electronics, and consumer goods. You must have seen it in any videos. This is available. How an automobile is assembled. So the engine is assembled. There, boring the cylinder, fitting the piston, connecting valves, so many things. So these are done. And then this engine is brought to the chassis. Chassis is again made and welded and done. Then wheels are connected, body is built. So many things are there. And of course, in between the painting, there's a paint pool. The entire chassis and structure is immersed in the painting pool and then taken back and dried. It is a fabulous thing, you can just see. And many things are automated. As I mentioned, I was visiting one of the factories. So I have seen many robots are working. Most of the welding works are done by robots because welding is a hazardous in nature. So in order to avoid these hazards, they are employing robots. So the fatigue issue may not arise. Human hazards are eliminated, so many things. So the assembly plants are there. Also the electronics. So suppose you are assembling computers or maybe TVs. So their motherboards are done, PCBs are done, then connectivity is involved. Their containing shell is there. Their what I call the keyboard is connected. So many things are there. They are put in a line, in a process line. And finally, the product is a very good laptop, it is coming out. And also the packaging. So the packaging industry is another, see, maybe that pharmaceutical, medicinal factory may be there. So initially it may be, the chemicals may be in the powder form, in the correct proportion they are mixing, and finally they are made into capsules or tablets, and then covering is done. And then finally as a strips is coming out, cut into pieces and packed in cartons, printed over that, and then it is bound, and then finally going to the market. Everywhere, this is there. It may be some edible oils, you see. So the coconut is squeezed, and then the oil is extracted. Then it is, all the contained and other things are eliminated. Some filtering process is done. Some additives are joined, and then they are packed, then sealed, and around the bottle, some printing is given, and finally packed, and then taken to the store, taken to the wholesale market, and then finally go. Like that, every product is manufactured in this way. So this is the general trend. Then the fabricating units, metalworking, welding, machining. So a small workshop, you can think about it. You may be requiring a truss over the top of the building. Then you have to have a metalwork. You should have the lathe. You should have the welding sets. Many other things we have. So this is another type of fabrication. Now there are chemical processing, and the chemical factories mostly are in Gujarat. Many of our people are working there, and we require chemical processing also. So this plastic bottles all are a part of the chemical industry. So that's also beautiful. In also Kerala also there are some small units where bottles are manufactured. So the pharmaceuticals is a part of chemical industry, petrochemicals, food processing, paint, and so on and so forth. So the chemical industry has got a wide avenue. Its scope is very large, very strong. So this is another place where also there are a lot of opportunity, a lot of situations where hazards may happen. Now another is textile and garment factories. In Kerala, it is not very much, but you go to Coimbatore and many other parts of India, Tirupur in Tamil Nadu, oh my God, a lot of textiles and garment industries are focused over there. It is spinning, weaving, dyeing, so many things are there. Hardly anywhere in Kerala we have got such similar industries. Few may be there on the border of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now the heavy engineering sites also there, shipbuilding. This example is our Cochin shipyard, and construction equipment, aerospace. But in Kerala, hardly anywhere they have. Only Kochi is maybe an example. And construction equipments, we don't have many. Aerospace also, we don't have much. And all these places also are involving these hazards. So these are the common workplace types. So now we go to the next page. Top common hazards in manufacturing and industrial settings. Yeah, you can go to the next. Machinery hazards. This is very common. Injuries from moving parts, getting entangled into the turning machines, crushing or cutting. You see, especially even in engineering colleges and polytechnics, the thermal engineering laboratory has got a lot of machines, especially the automobile engines and all. Also in the fluid machine laboratory, there are rotating parts. And that is also a probable area for accidents. I still remember when I was a student some 40, 50 years back, in my college, while university examination was happening, a friend of mine was doing some experiment in one of the thermal engines, automobile engines, and he was not taking correct precautions. And finally, a burst we heard, and finally we found that some portion of the engine was thrown out, because some rotating parts are there, that also is done at a very heavy speed. So we have to take extreme care. So if this is happening even in a laboratory of the engineering college, what all things can happen in an industry? There are a lot of moving parts, especially rotating part. So somebody can get entangled. So in our college, we were giving precautions to our students, especially the girl students, to tie very properly their hair. If it is casually flowing this way and that, there is every probability to get entangled with the rotating parts of the machine and a accident can happen. So if that is the case in industry, how much it will do? So the crushing body parts, some amputation of the limbs of the body also can happen. I still remember when I was younger, there was a tile factory nearby, and while tile making, one individual, one worker, because of some casual carelessness, he got into the machine and he was crushed and died on spot. Another place in another engineering college where I was the principal, I remember the construction of a building was going on. The cement mixing machine was there. One of the laborer worker, he was putting his hand into the rotating disc and then his hand was amputated. So these are some of the things that can happen. So the hazards are so many. So we have to be extremely careful. So the examples of unshielded gears, gears may be there, and if we happen to touch any of them, because they may not be covered, our hand or leg may get into, and real disaster can happen. So conveyor belt, this is another one. If it is open, and if we happen to touch it or get our legs or hands entangled into that, yes, automatically a real hazard can happen. Rotating equipments, as I mentioned, they are very dangerous. We have to take every precaution because we can't stop it. With great power, they are rotating. The torque is very high. You cannot stop it. It is not that easy. Even if the machine size may be small, its power is very high. So then these are the machinery hazards that can happen in any industry. Go to the next. Chemical hazards. Exposure to the toxic, flammable, or corrosive substances, solvent fumes, acid spills, paint thinners. And the worst example is the Bhopal tragedy, which happened, I think, in 1980s. I don't know how many of you remember that. We were students at that time, and it was in 84, I believe. And it was a big thing. It was during the time of Indira Gandhi as the Prime Minister. The Bhopal area totally, the chemical fumes went and hundreds of people died. It was a big thing. You see, it is a solid that's fuel. And acid spills, another thing. Paint industry can have another. In many places, this is happening. Chemical industry is also hazardous. We have to take care of. So the spills of fumes, it's another thing. Yes, we have to be very, very, very careful. Yes. Next one. Next page. Electrical. This is also another area. We can have a shock. Arc flash, fire from faulty firing, or equipment. So the conductors sometimes may be exposed. Insulation may not be properly given. Maybe that overloaded circuits, it may burn. Heavy loads may be coming, and the capability of the cable may not be sufficient. So fire may be the final thing. So we have to be very careful. Electrical hazards also every time. Many of the shopping commercial complexes are catching fire because of the electrical problems, They are not properly wired. So maybe the insulation not right. The capability of the cable also may not be that good to carry the current load. Then this is a real problem. So there can be electrical results as well. Yes. Now we go to the next. Slips, trips, falls. This can happen in any lab. It may not be electrical, it may not be chemical, may not be mechanical, manufacturing. Anywhere it can happen. It can be caused by wet flows. This has to be taken care of. Maybe that you are missing a step while you climb a stair. Clutter or uneven surfaces. Especially those who are elderly, this can happen. In steps, so many accidents happen. Even me, an aged person, come across many times. As I climb the stair or climb down the stair, sometimes if I miss a step, it will end up with a fall, which may be fatal. My legs may be broken, my eyes, my arms may be broken, and things can happen. And we are not keeping the regulations also right. In the developed countries, if there is a step, they will give some fluorescent line on that so that somebody will notice it. Without the notice, if somebody is climbing down or climbing up, accident can happen as we may miss one of the steps. So this is another, we slip. If a slippery ground is there, this can happen. Somebody can fall. It can be even fatal. If it is uneven surfaces, yes, it may be a dangerous thing. So maybe the oil spills, so misplaced tools. We may not think that the tool is there. Unexpectedly, we fall on that, and maybe the floor is damaged. So many things are happening. So these are the other situations where the slips, trips, falls, etc. happen, and it may be fatal also. Next page. Ergonomic hazards. The musculoskeletal strain from poor posture and repetitive tasks. This is earlier times we never thought about it. Ergonomic design is very important. Now, this is affecting very badly the software industry. Many software professionals are having back pain, neck pain. This is all because of the poor ergonomic design of their posture, the chair and table. And they have enough problems. The lifestyle diseases mostly are because of the poor ergonomic designs. This we have to be very, whenever there is a repetitive work, we have to take care of the posture. So you can see in the picture also that back pain is straining. So this is a real issue, especially when some manual lifting is required. Awkward workstation design definitely is going to have a say on your health, your skeleton, your back, your neck and all. So this also has to be taken care of. This is an ergonomic hazard. Yes, please go to the end. So noise hazard. Oh, this is really, really very bad. In many of the industries, if we go for the first time, many times we may not be able to listen somebody talking. The decibel is very high. There is a range we can listen, the decibel levels. And if it is below that, we won't be able to listen. And if it is above that, sometimes we may be able to listen, but our eye drums will get badly affected. So this is going to damage your listening system, hearing system. And when the hearing system areas are exposed to loud machinery voices, it is going to disturb your health very badly. So in the presses, in the grinders, in the compressors, heavy machines, industries where these machines are working, These are some of the real hazards. Noises are. It's a noise pollution. Even in the common atmosphere, this noise pollution is there. When there is a meeting going on, maybe a political meeting or religious meeting, this high volume of decibel is going to damage the entire community. We have to take care of that. The noise hazard also is very. Yes, next one. Fire and explosion, ignition of flammable materials or dust. Dust pollution has damaged most of our cities. The visibility is gone down, especially in Delhi. The stubble burning of the Punjab, Haryana area and the Delhi area is entirely spoiling the atmosphere of Delhi. Your visibility is very much affected. And also in addition to that, the light pollution is another issue. The high beam of the vehicles, especially in the night, driving is becoming a nightmare. You can't drive properly. So this is a very dangerous area. The explosion, especially after Deepavali or other celebrations, the entire towns, especially the northern towns, Delhi and other places, they have got dust pollution very much. And because of that, accidents also happen, the vehicle accidents also, because of the poor visibility. Poor visibility is because of the dust, because of the air pollution, because of the light pollution, sound pollution, all these things happen. And then fire is happening. Especially the waste is dumped in some places and they are getting fire. Fire is creating a lot of troubles. Properly, the municipal waste management is poor and the dumped heaps are getting fire, hot fire, and then it creates one great issues. So we have to take care of these. These are some of the hazards we are coming across. So especially the inside the industry, the welding sparks, gas leaks, combustible dust. All these are reasons for real explosion, real dangers. We are. Yes, next page. The confined spaces is another thing. So if the entry or exit is very limited and ventilation is very minute, then the risk of asphyxiation or entrapment is happening. Manhole entry. This is notorious. Even in Kerala, this is happening. Somebody cleaning inside the channels and canals through the manhole entries. It ends up with real hazards, the death of people also. So many examples are there. So the cleaning the tanks, underground walls and other things, many places. Even in the usual wells, when you go deeper and deeper, there are some fumes, then toxic gases may be emerging. And we have seen people getting trapped into and dying as they go deeper into the well. And the manholes is a tragic thing. And some startups have designed some of the machines which can go through the manholes and clean the interior of the wall, of the canals or pipelines and other things. So this is another area where people can think about new inventions. So the confined space generally is one of the reasons for the accidents and hazards. Next thing. Thermal hazards, this is another area. It burns, heat stress from hot surfaces and environments. Especially inside the industry, these possibilities, if there are furnaces, steam lines, molten metals, and even the heat stocks are there. In high temperature climate and all, especially in northern India, in UP and all, sunstroke is a common thing too. And this also is causing a lot of hazards. So the temperature or thermal hazard is happening not only inside the industry, even the exposed areas under the sun. This is happening. So these are other hazards. Yeah, go to the next page. Radiation hazards. Exposure to ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. X-ray equipment, if you are exposed too much, laser cutters. These are common things to happen even in hospitals and small industries. And great failures can happen in atomic energy centers. This is Chernobyl is a very bad example of that. This happened in USSR. I already mentioned in the first talk. Also, Fukushima, that was in Japan in 2011. Yeah, because of the tsunami that was happening, the entire station, nuclear station collapsed. And it was creating a lot of damage to the neighboring areas in many ways. The sea life, the human life, everything is affected in a very bad shape. So the radiation hazard is a very important thing that we have to take care of. Next. Now, next is how to control. What are the strategies to mitigate them? What are they? You have to just have a look into. Yes, please. Engineering controls. Especially, I mentioned the rotating machines or machine elements are creating problems. So we should have guards, ventilation systems, and especially the noise, they should be damaged. Dampening is a very important. Otherwise, your eardrums will be broken. Your health will be heavily damaged. So these are some of the precautions. So engineering controls has guards, ventilation, and noise damping, etc. must be implemented. Next is administrative control. Training is the mandatory thing every factory must implement. And signages. Proper signs must be given, indications must be given. Shift rotations, the fatigue you should eliminate. So if you are working the same thing for long hours, there is every probability that you may get a hazardous situation. So safety training is the most mandatory thing. You see, every now and then, at correct intervals, all the employees who are working in this environment must be called in, and again, repeatedly, the training must be imparted. This instruction must go deep down into their mind, their heart. Only then they will be careful. Otherwise, humans have got this problem. They may just forget and cause damages and hazards. This should have happened. So the safety training is very, very essential. And the signage is correct indications where things have to be in, where to go, what to do, all those things. And the shift rotation also is very vital. Yeah, next page. This is PPE. Helmet, gloves, goggles, respirators, which many times people neglect. The personal protective equipment. Helmets. In the construction area, people don't care much. Everyone must have a helmet, which is not the real practice. But where you go to the other countries, say UAE or Europe, you can see that without this helmet, nobody is permitted in the construction areas. And the gloves, goggles, very especially when you are going for the welding operation, is very much required. And where the oxygen level is low, The respirators must be proper ventilation, proper lighting. All these things are very important. So PPE in general, very vital, which we have to implement. And we have to give directions for the laborers, for the workers, for the employees working under us. And our training must be given to the students as well. Yes, next page. Now, regular audits and inspections. We have given some regulatory bodies some information, SNABOJ and other things, ISO standards, industry standards, then Indian acts, checklists, documentations. And this must be properly exhibited in all important points. Wherever it is visible, that will give the direction. We have to take precautions. And everybody should have the shoes worn, your PPE well worn. These are compulsory and mandatory. No leniency must be given to anybody. Only then we can protect the lives of our people. In this picture also you can see that the helmet they are wearing, proper gowns are done. All these things are important. So we have to take care of this. Yes, and audits and inspections are mandatory. We have to give instructions at proper time. Go to the next. Emergency preparedness. So the drills, more drills must be done. Fire drills. If a fire comes out, if something spilled, say gas or oil, how to give the first aid. All these things must be instructed. Proper training and guidance must be given to each and every one of the employees. And this is essential. Of course, for the last few years, nothing might have happened, but it is not a guarantee that it will not happen next. So this we have to take care of. So the emergency preparedness is very important. Even in the fire force, you see the people, they are making mock drills every now and then. If a fire breaks out, what way we have to save? We can save the people. If somebody falls into a well or in a pool or water, how to make the safety measures? How somebody is having a drowning experience, then how to give the test exercises. So these things must be taught at even for the school level. Much more it must be done in the industry level and in the public community level. Yes, this preparedness is one of the things that we have to take. Yeah, next. Now the fourth one, we are thinking about the best practices for workplace safety training. Yes. So conduct a thorough needs assessment. What is a real need? Identify the specific hazards by reviewing incident reports, job roles, regulatory requirements. So this specific hazards, definitely we have to have an assessment. Incident reports, the history will help us to go for the specific assessment. So correspondingly, jobs must be assigned. Their roles must be clear. What all things have to be taken as precautions? What are the regulatory requirements? What all things are to be done by the management, by the employer, employee, by the people around? Things to be done in the industry. All those things are to be identified first. And then customized training to address high-risk areas like machinery operation, chemical handling, or confined spaces. So the training imparted, that is a very important thing. Now, wherever regular precautions are done, the high-risk areas are saved. Now, this is a mandatory thing, it must be done. So the assessment as well as training, this is the first part of it. Now, tailor content to the audience. Use role-specific modules for engineers, technicians, and administrators. These modules must be given to the engineers. Their roles must be specific. What one must do, what the other next person should do. And all these administrative staff, technicians, engineers, the roles are different. For the engineers, something else. And then technicians, it is different. Administrative staff, it must be different. So correct roles must be given and their modules must be very clear. And training must be important. There include the language and examples relevant to your workplace content. So the terminology must be relevant and the workplace also must be taken care of. So this scenarios for the safety officers, the NEBOSH must be familiar with the people, especially in manufacturing industry. This is very important. So this is a tailor content to the audience. Now a blended learning approach also we can make use of. So the workshop with the digital modules. So the physical module and virtual module combined, that is a blended learning approach. So the simulations, videos, quizzes, etc. also must be combined with the physical explanations. So this improves the flexibility and retention, especially for the complex topics like a lockout, a tagout, or a PPE protocols. Even in the aircraft, you might have seen that some instructions are mostly physical training is given. So somewhere they are thinking about the blended learning as well. What must be done in case of a casualty? If something is happening, how to open the door, where are the doors situated, what all things have to be done, how to inflate that seat belt, under the seat belt something is there, airbags are there. So all people, those who traveled in aircraft must have seen that. So these are the things they are implementing. So the virtual modes also are incorporated, then you get a blended learning approach. So the physical approach as well as the virtual approach, when blended together, you get the blended approach. So this is the third point. And the fourth one is incorporating real life case studies. Enough number of case studies are there in front of us. In examples of past incidents, how they resolved. Encourage discussion, reflection to deepen their understanding. So many cases are there. In a fire hazard, what has happened and how people could be saved could be taken as an example. So this case study can be brought to the employees and they can be given training. So the real case examples are so many. So the Ahmedabad aircraft crash, this can be a case study. What could have happened? Still we do not know. We are in the dark. So once we come to know about it, the captain and the people in the cockpit, they could be given training how to avoid dangerous accidents. So this can be done in many other places. Maybe the drivers, maybe the ambulance drivers and all. Ambulance make a lot of accidents. They are running fast. Of course, they have to. But at the same time, safety measures they have to keep in mind. So the life cases, the real life cases must be taken as a study. And then these examples can be given to the people so that they will learn better. So this is another thing. And also discussions can be had, reflections to deepen the understanding. It is not a one-way communication. A discussion must be definitely taken up with the employees. So the trainer and the employees must sit together, work together, and the reflections also must be taken into account. And a real discussion may help them understand in depth so that accidents can be eliminated and avoided. So this is one of the areas where we have to prepare. Now, engage the learners' activity. So the learners must be engaged properly. Gamification is one of the method. So you can give games explaining all these situations. Gamification is the latest trend to teach the people. And it has become a big industry in the computer world. Gamification. Use gamification, safety challenges, and later boards. So this can be properly done. Not very much done at the moment. So the computer people can think about the gamification of these situations, how accidents happen, how to eliminate, what way training can be imparted, so on and so forth. So this gamification is a very new area where we can think a lot. Our students can be given direction, their projects can be done in this area also. The faculty members, I request you to guide the students to take up some of the projects as making use of this gamification opportunity. Please do that. And offer award, rewards, and recognition for exemplary safety behavior. This is another motivation. Now, unless somebody is motivated, people may not work in the best way. So one method is to motivate them, giving awards or rewards for best safety behavior. So these are some of the ways we can engage people so that finally our hazards are avoided or eliminated in a better way. Go to the next. Then repeat and reinforce. Many things once explained may not be retained in the mind in a very strong way. So we have to schedule it. Refresher sessions must be given. Micro learning updates must be provided. This is an area most of the people neglect. Now, we are under the false impression that once we give, that is enough. It is not enough. Even in institutions, I mean educational institutions, you have to give the instructions repeatedly, maybe every month or twice in a month. Only then the students will come to know these are the things. Say how to wear your uniform. These are simple examples. If we are not repeatedly giving these instructions, they will just forget. And they will be under the false impression that the authorities are not much bothered about this. But the things must happen in a different way. So you have to instruct the people repeatedly at the definite intervals. So the refresher sessions is a very important item. So, and also the micro learning updates also must be given. The minute details you must be explained. And what are the dangers if they are not followed? You must be capable of explaining that. That also must be done properly. And you have to reinforce the key messages through the posters, toolbox talks, and digital reminders. You can keep posters at important key points. And also digital reminders also you can give. Now the mobile is popular. Everybody has got a mobile. The digital reminders, please give. So if you are keeping this way, some possibility of a hazard is in the vicinity. So you have to take care of such instructions must go at repeated intervals. So posters, toolbox talks, digital reminders, etc. also must be given. So this should be repeated at intermittent intervals. Now assess the understanding. Use pre and post training assessment to measure learning outcomes. Now it is the era of outcome-based education. Even in this training, you have to measure the learning outcomes. You give the training and get the feedback. Before the training, you get the feedback, and after the training also you get. So at that you get an assessment and you can measure the learning outcomes. It must be insistent. No, it cannot be taken as a casual thing. It must be insisted and people must know it. You must have some measuring tools as well and see what are the real outcomes. and include scenario-based evaluations to test practical applications. Some scenario you can describe and then evaluate and test the practical applications. Make them do. Only by doing you are going to learn. And this must be applied with the employees. So let them learn, let them do, and let them understand and get convinced about it. So this must be done properly without much of any delay. Encourage feedback and continuous improvement. This is another area which we have to emphasize. Collect the feedback from participants to refine the training content. From the feedback, you will come to know what level they have really understood. Most of the things we make presumptions and we take for granted, but they might not have got it. They might not have been registered in the mind. Many people talk, but we may not follow it. Many people must be speaking to us, but we may not be registering in our mind. This may happen with the employees. We may speak to them, we may give them instructions, but they may not get it. How to make ensure? So get the feedback. And getting feedback is a tool by which we are ensuring that they are getting the point. So from the feedback, if they have not understood, our training program content can be refined and refined. So we will do next time better. So the feedback is a wonderful process. So this is a reason for the improvement also, the continuous improvement. Now monitor incident trends to adjust the focus areas over time. So the incident trends, the trends in what way the things are happening, accidents are happening, that will be giving an idea where to focus. And over time, we have to identify the areas where these things are happening. So the feedback is very important. So that must be emphasized very properly. Invest in quality trainers. Many times we hesitate to employ trainers because training is very expensive. They charge you high, but don't bother about the charges. Invest in quality trainers. Ensure facilitators are certified, experienced, and skilled in adult learning principles. Say, for example, Nabosh, a certified trainer must be called in. Not anybody, a layperson cannot give it. Of course, something can be had from the books and then you can deliver it. But a person who has experienced from industry, from the trainers, then that people will be capable of delivering things in a much better way. That may not be possible by an ordinary layperson. That is the reason why I insist that we have to invest in quality trainers. You cannot fire any Dick and Harry. They must be really certified and experienced. And thus experienced in industry. Such people alone must be called in. And then the training must be marketing. And also consider guest trainers from industry or accreditation bodies for specialized modules. People must be from the industry must be invited. Accreditation bodies, as Nabosh and other things, you must call people. And then training must be imparted. Training must be exact and effective, efficient. So for which we have to spend money. That is the reason why we say that we have to invest in quality trainers. This is a very important thing. Many people take it very casually. Anybody from the market you are calling and giving training will end up with a drastic result. It should not be that way. We have to take it very seriously and align with the regulatory standards. Already I mentioned about some of the training called NABOSH, OSHA, ISO standards and all. You have to get in touch with this. trained people with these certifications also must be called in. And the regulatory mandates and standards must be met in a meticulous way. This is very important. Also, yeah, the documentation must be made mandatory. It should be maintained properly. Audits and compliance reviews must be there. Documents must be there. An inspection may be coming. Then the documentation must be definitely present. You should have the documentation. In the absence of documentation, they will come to a conclusion that you haven't done anything in this connection. That should not be the case. So we have to take care of these things. So these are the important points we have to take care of in order to avoid any hazard and other situations in the manufacturing and industries. Next. So we are going to have the final, the emerging trends in this area. Smart manufacturing. So that is the latest trend. Integrating IoT, artificial intelligence, data analytics for productive maintenance and real-time monitoring. I already mentioned about this one in the first topic. Internet of Things that has been already in the air for the last couple of years. Now, artificial intelligence is the latest development. In any area, AI is getting employed and data analytics. You see, you go to your WhatsApp, you are, maybe the Facebook perhaps, and some of the Facebook videos you are observing and you are showing interest, naturally thereafter you can see that the similar things are coming again and again. Also, you may be going to the YouTube, there you are showing some interest in some YouTube, some nature YouTube. Immediately you can see that the same similar things are coming to you again and again. How this is happening? AI is making these things happen. This is everywhere. In medicine, it is there. It is agriculture, it is there. In warfare, it is. In any industry, it is there. In shipbuilding, in chemical industry, in plastic industry, in education, everywhere. In cybersecurity, whatnot. Everywhere AI is used. Data analytics also is. You can have a predictive maintenance, real-time monitoring. So this is the latest trends. So these trends we should be capable of making use of. AI is the strongest tool. I already mentioned some of the things. ChatGPT is this, that is at the lowest level. Then Gemini is there, Cloud is there, Perplexity, DeepSeek, so many things are there. Make use of these things. And your data analytics, they are making use of it. Statistics is a very important thing. They are making use of statistics also in the data analytics. And for the predictive maintenance, these tools can be made use of. And the real-time monitoring can be had easily by the use of AI and IoT. So this is the latest trends. We should be capable of it. If we are not open to artificial intelligence, we will be out of the street. Now we cannot live without AI and IoT and other things. So we have to use it. So it's very potential tool we have at our with us, and we can make use of it. So never keep our eyes blind against artificial intelligence. It is very much in there. So workplace design and evaluation. Companies are investing in modern, comfortable, collaborative spaces to attract talent. So this has created a new situation, especially after that these last years, what is that called? uh, after this one we started everything online. That is the reason why we are sitting online and attending my classes. Otherwise, we could not think about that. So that has created a new situation. Now the workplace has been redesigned in a new pattern altogether. Now work from home has emerged, especially in the software industry, in the computer-based industries. More than 50% of the people are sitting at home. The companies are investing in the modern, comfortable, collaborative space. So in their own workspace, new designs are coming up. Corona, that is what I was wanted to speak about. That Corona. After Corona, things have happened, changed at a very great level. And now the workplace is changed. You go to any computer-based employee, more than 50% are sitting at home and working. The companies are getting better facilities, better results also. So they need not give the workplace. Then the employee can sit at home. So they need not spare space for that. Electricity bills are coming down. There is no need of air conditioning. And the people are giving better, higher results. That is the creativity in thinking. So the workplace design has come in a very different way. And even in the industry, after Corona, something drastic has happened. A great change has happened. The ambience and the atmosphere totally changed. As I mentioned, the workplace has totally changed from the industry and gone back to their own houses, working from home. This is a new terminology which we are familiar only after Corona. Before that, we could never think. So companies were making TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and companies like that. So, CTS, Cognizant, all were making big mansions, workspaces in all cities, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, in Trivandrum, in Kochi, in different places, Delhi, all those places they were making. That spree of building spaces has come down because 50% of the people, even more than 50%, are working from home. That is a change that has happened. And it has become comfortable. Also in the industry, inside their own mansions, in the industry's buildings, they are making that ambience very comfortable, very collaborative space. Then only their output can be quality-wise improved. That they have found. So this is another area where they can reduce the human discomfort and create more comfort, and also the hazards can be really eliminated or brought down. This is another research. So they can attract the talent also in a big way. So this is another area where we can think about it. And the last one is the cultural transformation. Indian manufacturers like Hindalco are reshaping the work culture place to foster trust, ownership, and performance. Formerly, it was employer-employee. Now things are getting changed. Everyone is having the ownership. Once we are the owner, we will take it close to our heart. Things are changed. The quality is definitely improved. Formerly, it was employer, the owner, and the slave. Now everyone is equal. Everyone has got their own share. They are owners equally. That is a cultural transformation, ownership and performance. So these are the new trends that are happening, which will finally affect in eliminating or reducing the hazard situations. Let it happen. So this is the future. I think we can think in this line, especially as a teacher, faculty members can give inputs to your students so that things will happen in a different shape altogether and change the world. We can look for a brighter future. Tomorrow should be brighter. India must be a best place for our work. Of course, the foreign countries are bringing a lot of restrictions for Indians to go there. See that visa constraint that America has brought in, Trump has brought in. Initially, it is a very big difficulty created for us, but in the long run, it is going to be a boon, a grace for us, because we will create new situations for Indians. This is what is going to happen, I believe. Let us all work together, put our heads and shoulders together, and instill real confidence and spirit into our youngsters. They are going to rule the world for the coming decades. Let it happen. India is Mera India, Mera Bharat Mahan. With these words, I confine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions you can?
Dear participants, you have any queries? Can ask now. There is a question, sir. Give an example of how predictive.
AI.
Yeah.
AI used for predictive maintenance. So AI is in the initial stages. Dr. B. Srinivas Rao, you can go to any of the tools wherein AI can give you innumerable number of ways. Any problem you choose, go to any of the AI tools. ChatGPT is the novelist to them. There are so many other tools. DeepSeek is there, Gemini is there, Cloud is there, Perplexity is there. All these things you can just test your question and put them to answer. Innumerable. I may not be able to give you the answers. For me also, I should go to these tools and get the question and then answer. You can do yourself. Only thing you have to be familiar with the Perplexity, Claude, or DeepSeek, or Gemini, or whatever. So that you use. I may not be able to give you entire thing in this short time, but it is possible. I have checked with all these things with the very small items. You see, how to make use of CSR funds. For example, I am just giving you. You go to any of the tools and they will give you innumerable ways. That is the fun of it. Yeah. It's a very interesting thing. You can use it. Learn to use it or get the guidance of any computer science person and learn how to use these AI tools to get the answer of your queries. Definitely you will get it. So that is a very interesting thing. You have to learn. All the audience, I would request you is to learn how to use AI tools. Many AI tools are there. Meta is using one. Google is using, Gemini is there. So many other things are there. Please do learn. And you will get an innumerable number of ways. That's the beauty of it. Okay, somebody else also was raising hand.
No further.
Okay.
Yes, another question, sir. How cultural design
Okay.
for the
So, cultural transformation. One is regarding the workplace. That is a cultural transformation. Already I explained how we can make the workspace comfortable to the people. Formerly, nobody was caring about it. So sometimes that ambience, climate ambience, the temperature, the voice level, this is one other thing. Now, work from home is another one. Another is discussion with the employees. Formerly, it was master-slave relation. Now you can change it. They also are made to participate in the main running of the industry. Another thing is to make them also owners of the industry. Formerly, again, I repeat, it was employer and employee. Now everyone is employer. That is a cultural transformation. Now this is applicable in every field. You can enhance the productivity. Hazards also you can eliminate and bring it down. And every aspect, maybe cleanliness, maybe work experience, and many other features, the productivity, so on and so forth. The cultural transformation is going to change the entire thing. No more hierarchy levels. Everyone is going to be equal. Let it happen so that we feel at ease and everyone is equal to the other. Only somebody is their leader to give guidance. Otherwise, everybody is equal. That must be the. Maybe that uniform is the same for top official to the bottom, to the scavenger, to the guard and security. Everyone may be having the same dress code. That makes it different. Nobody is addressing sir. Everybody is calling by name. Another cultural transformation. This must be implemented. Otherwise, in our former days, the chief man is called the sir, lord, so many things. Hereafter, it must be eliminated and everyone is called, addressed by his or her own name. Let it happen. So many things are there.
Father, the question is like this. How can the company balance production pressure and safety?
So this is a real issue. Somebody is focusing on production at the cost of safety. Nowadays, you see, production also is very much connected with the safety. Suppose somebody is sacrificing safety, how long he can pull on safety, pull on production. So if safety is a sacrifice, in the long run, production definitely will come down. It will definitely tell upon the reputation of the company, reliability of the company, compliance with the regulatory bodies, government rules and restrictions and laws, all will come in the picture. So unless safety is safeguarded, in the long run, production definitely will be affected very badly. So that is the reality. Those who are having very short-sighted approach, they will focus on production at the cost of safety. But real managers who are looking for the long-term productivity and profit, they will really focus on the safety. So actually, they are not conflicting. Only the poor understanding about safety and productivity will compel the people to make drastic changes for the sake of production at the cost of safety. That's a wrong thing. No, it is all because of the ignorance of the reality. So we should teach the people at the management level, unless safety is safeguarded, your productivity in the long run is going to come down. Definitely it is. You should convince the people. So actually there is no contradiction. They are supporting each other. That's the reality.
Father, I think there are no more questions. Shall we wind up?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Father. Thank you so much for two wonderful and
Thank you.
energizing sessions.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Okay, I shall close. Okay.
Yes, Father.
Thank you.
Yes, Father. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.